During any winter weather event, there is one very important thing we always have to do. Let's make sure our roads are clear. Now, we've done this for decades using traditional rock salt. As rock salt, it's been on the pricier side, but it does a great job at making sure the ice is able to melt. But it can only do that so effectively. For example, at 30 degrees, 1 pound of salt can actually melt 46 pounds of ice. So it's fairly effective and cost effective at the warmer temperatures. However, as temperatures start to decrease, at 0 degrees, that same pound of salt only melts 4 pounds of ice. A massive difference between the two with not a massive temperature change. And not to mention, rock salt is actually bad for our environment and our furry friends. Well, first of all, it can actually be corrosive to our cars and roadways, as it likes to corrode our tires, our metal, as well as affecting our roads in addition. And not to mention, the salt on our roads can actually get onto the sidewalks and affect our furry friends getting in their paws, creating some discomfort. And then not to mention, that salt can easily be blown off, as it is still just salt out on the road. And if we have any sort of winter storm that does have a fairly high wind, salt can only be so effective as long as it's on the road. That's why scientists have been trying to look for a solution that's cheaper, better for the environment, as well as a bit stickier. That's where beet juice comes in. Now we get this beet juice is a byproduct, as beets are actually turned into table sugar by fermenting. This fermentation process creates table sugar, and that byproduct is the beet juice we use on our roads. So what is beet juice and why is it so effective? Well, first off, it's much cheaper than rock salt, as that process of fermentation already happens to create good old-fashioned table sugar, and we have a byproduct that normally would be discarded, we can actually reuse, since make it cheaper. Not to mention, it sticks to our roads way better, as beet juice is incredibly sticky, so we don't have to worry about any of that higher winds getting blown off, and not to mention, it is a little bit better for our environment, but only somewhat, as beet juice still has a negative effect of having a lot of extra sugar inside of it, allowing some bacteria and germs to really feed on it, which could affect our waters as well as our wildlife.